Matt, and good evening, everybody. So, just start out, obviously, just good to get the win. That's what we came for, and just happy to get that done. I thought the players' effort was good, and good to see them get rewarded for that. I thought the team had a really good camp, preseason camp, and I think some of the good things we saw tonight are probably the result of that. And then the flip side is, too, there's always work to do, and certainly I think tonight we'll have a lot of good teaching, examples tomorrow to go off of, and just some situations that'll we're going to have to do a better job with. So happy about that. It's always good when you can get a win and do a lot of good things, but also have a lot of things that are going to have to get corrected and try to get cleaned up a little bit. On the positive front, came out with 2 penalties, and I thought that was pretty good start there. Almost got out of the game without a turnover, couldn't quite get that done, so that was unfortunate. But for the most part, clean, and certainly some highlights. You look at Drew with that great job with the field goal. And that thing still had some room to go. Reese really did a nice job punting. Only had 2 punts, but really, those were both impressive as well. And then, on the other front, just a lot of young guys played that haven't played much football. And start with Xavier, the most obvious one. He went in and played like a veteran guy, which was good to see. Didn't look out of place at all and did a good job. TJ's not a new guy, but didn't play running back very much for us last year, and I think he looked really comfortable back there. Jazz looked like Jazz and stepped in, did a great job. And, just positionally, a lot of guys that really haven't played much football that got their feet wet. So you got 3 senior linebackers, but, none of them ever started. So just, a lot of that stuff across the board, and, happy about that. So then bottom line, just good to be 1-0 right now. We're going to enjoy tonight and told the guys to do that. And then, tomorrow we'll go back to work. And Sunday's all about taking a look at the tape and trying to take something out of it. And I think it's every bit as important after a win as a loss. So certainly a lot of things that we can get better at, and that's going to be the focus as we move forward here this week. So that's kind of our plan right now. Just a quick shout out or compliments to Lou Christ. Understand 43 years as the band announcer, which is pretty good, and also understand he played in the Rose Bowl with 58, 59 back in the late 50s. And my wife has always said nobody has more fun than the people in the band. So I don't know how she knows that, but anyway, that's just an observation, I think. But salute to Lou too. That's quite a career. So I'll throw it out for questions.
Start with David.
David Eichel, HawkeyeInsider.com. Kirk, when it comes to how would you kind of evaluate Mark's performance? He came in here, said he was pretty disappointed how he played, but there were a lot of good things that he saw. But I guess from your vantage point, how would you evaluate him?
Yeah, one thing you did see, he can run the football, which is good. That makes us a little bit more diverse attack-wise. And, the obvious takeaway, our passing game wasn't what it needed to be tonight. And a lot of factors involved. And I think, part of it is just him probably pressing too hard. And I'm certainly no quarterback expert, but sat in a lot of offensive rooms over the years. And it's one thing I've noticed, it's hard to get a quarterback just to, relax a little bit and take what's there sometimes. Mainly because they want to do well and they want to push it and they want to maybe do more than they need to sometimes. And amazingly, if you just kind of are patient, good things will eventually come your way. So I think it was part of that. And, I think it's really directly tied to the cramping that he was experiencing. You're trying so hard, you're wound up, you got your motor running pretty high level, and he's an unbelievably conscientious guy. So this will be good for him to get through this and move forward. So really confident he'll be fine.
Scott Docterman with The Athletic, kind of along those same lines. It seemed like whether it was his fundamentals, his footwork, and even kind of almost pulling the string on some passes. Does that kind of go hand in hand with maybe pregame anxiety and then pressing, and then it just you start aiming the ball instead of throwing the ball? Yep. And did you get a sense that he was feeling like that when you maybe talked to him on the sideline?
I think I may have mentioned it Tuesday. I can't remember, but that's always one of my fears with a newer player, a veteran player, and quarterback especially. I'm going back to Drew Tate now, where he was out of gas halftime or whatever game it was, and he hit the wall hard because his mind runs hard. And Drew was a competitive guy that wanted to do things perfectly too. So, yeah, I think that's part of it. And just sometimes you got to play through that and experience it. And I think this will benefit him moving forward because he's a good player and a good quarterback. And Then the other thing, I mean, it wasn't perfect with all around him either. Protection looked pretty good, but ran some routes short because of new guys. And that's, the age-old story too. Just like quarterbacks don't want to take the drop-off sometimes. And receivers, they'll be quick but don't hurry. And they get hurried and shortened routes too. So, yeah, we had a little bit of that. It was a group effort.
Tom Kakert, Hawkeye Report. Injury-wise, Kamari went out. Do you have an update on him? Bryce George, I think, got hurt in the pregame.
Yeah, that's a new one.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it's a first for me. I'm pretty sure. As a line coach or just, any coach. But, it was a freak thing. And, he was just obviously devastated. It's hard. I think he'll be back. I don't know how soon. But, anyway, that was, you're just not counting on that, to your point. Kamari, we'll see. I don't think it's the end of the world, but we'll know more tomorrow, probably tomorrow, Monday.
Chad likes to go to one register back to the quarterback, like going on the road. Do you feel like that helps almost a veteran quarterback like that to maybe calm down a little bit? I mean, just in your experience, or does that make it worse?
I'd rather play at home, quite frankly. But I think he just needed to play, and play at Iowa. He's played a lot of football, but first time he's played here in our uniform, and you want to go out. If you're a prideful person, you want to go out and do well. And I think he's probably pushing a little too hard here. But I think he'll handle this beautifully, and he'll be fine.
Tyler Tashman with
Ask him to be quiet next week, please. Yeah, keep that noise down. Yeah.
Tyler Tashman with the Des Moines Register. Is Reese Vanders? How long is you expecting him to be out? Or?
Shame on me for saying we're pretty healthy on Tuesday, which we were at that time. And then, full detail is he was in the food line after practice and felt discomfort in his foot. So I don't know how long he'll be out, but it's just like, nobody saw it coming, including him. So I imagine a couple weeks here, we'll see. But, again, anytime a player gets hurt, Kamari seemed to be doing pretty good today, but Bryce, it really, it's his last year. And Reese was really disappointed, too, because he's had a great camp and done a lot of good things. But, he'll be back. He'll get back.
Hey, Kirk, Elliott Clough, HawkeyeInsider.com. Wanted to ask more about Xavier. I know you said some positive things about him before bowl prep last year,
Yeah.
I think. And I guess, is today what we saw today, is that like what you've seen over the last year that he's been here?
Yes and no. I mean this sincerely. We just, maybe we're crazy, but we don't tackle in practice now. Sometimes those defensive guys don't get the memo, and Preston Reese is number one culprit. But anyway, they're not supposed to tackle our guys, and they'll. So that's the one variable with guys that haven't played. You just don't know what they're going to do, and but he seemed perfectly fine out there, and McNeil the same thing. It looked okay. I was a little worried about him getting in there. But yeah, that is what we've seen. He just steadily kept getting better last year. Week to week, and then certainly in bowl prep, you really get a good dose of the younger guys. So yeah, and he had a great spring, and just with Kamari and TJ missing some time in the middle of camp, they got him more work. So the idea of being a good player is if you get opportunity to step in there and do something with it, and I think we were all confident he'd step in and play well, but you still got to do it. So good start for him.
2 or 3 more, Chris.
Right here, Coach. Chris Meglia with the Daily Iowan. Today I couldn't help but notice you ran a couple design QB runs for Mark Gronowski. I'm personally not used to seeing that too much, but is that good to know that you have a quarterback that has a good dual threat ability with his toughness to run through defenders and just kind of scramble and make plays off the jump?
Yeah, it is a good thing, and I thought we knew their guy ran, and but with the first half, it didn't look like we knew their guy could run, and there were a couple there that was like, oh boy, this is not good. Nobody was on them. So yeah, it gives you one more dimension and gives something for the opponent to have to worry about. But you have to have a guy who can do it a little bit too. And Mark, we were confident they ran him really, really hard his last school. And our plans are not to run that much, but it's nice to have that in your repertoire, certainly.
Madison Hertzig, Cedar Rapids Gazette. You mentioned earlier this week that Sam Phillips might have a couple opportunities to do kick and punt return, and then he had that 46-yard return kind of towards the end of the game. Did you expect him to be able to pull off that kind of return? Is that something that you kind of look at and you go, okay, maybe I'll look a little bit deeper into this?
Yeah, he's been playing really well at receiver, and then is shown to be a really capable returner. But that was a really nice return. So, and we were teasing Weege, his job status might be up for jump ball right now. But it was a really nice play. But I'm not totally shocked, although it was a really good play. You can't ever say, hey, that guy's going to do that. That was really impressive.
Okay, last question, Dan.
Coach Ferentz, Dan Stacy, Sportscast Media. I noticed as the game wore on, your pass rush and your defense in general played better and better, and you had good pressure on Albany's quarterback. I assume you're pretty happy about that. They played pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, no question. I think the first half we, as I just mentioned, gave up a couple quarterback runs that were like, boy, it just looked like we didn't know what we were doing, and then gave up a couple of passes too that were, you'd like to see a little tighter coverage. So I think, and that was disappointing. But in the second half, a lot more 3-and-outs. I just thought we played a lot sharper and crisper, and they caught us in that one-man coverage where we had the pass interference. But good job on their part. But yeah, it was two different halves for sure, and happy to see that. And that's the tempo we need to be going at. Just gotta. So hopefully we're a little bit better suited to start pushing forward here. Okay, thanks guys. Good night. Thank you.